Hello and welcome. My name is Shauna Conrad and I'm a surface hair artist. Today I'm going to be taking you through our Urban Gypsy Freedom haircut. The Urban Gypsy Freedom haircut is multiple concave layers, disconnected but blended. A cut within a cut. To begin, I am going to take and position my guest backwards, and with my surface TK2 comb, I am going to comb all the hair back to the middle center. I'm going to begin by creating my outside perimeter line with a compression cut. Keeping in mind that we never want our guest looking down more than 10 degrees. If they're looking down any farther than that, it tightens the skin on the nape and makes for an uneven haircut. So compression cutting all that hair down to the center back, and if your sides are shorter, they might fall out just a little bit. Taking our surface razor and beginning at the bottom in light feathery strokes, compression cutting right in the center our outside perimeter. And if the hair starts to get away from you, it's okay to re-comb it and re-grab it into that compression position, making sure you keep the same shape and line. Keeping in mind that the hand that is holding the hair is guiding where the length is going to be, so you don't want to move it as you're shattering it with the razor. Combing it all back, making sure you got that entire perimeter cut nice and straight across. You can see on this side I have a few long hairs, so I'm just going to take and feather them off, making sure I'm still holding that in the middle back center. Now as I comb this down, you'll notice that that perimeter gets longer towards the front because we directed all of that back to compression cut it in the center. Now it's time to begin our concave layers. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to begin working on the left side of the head, keeping in mind that red zone is going to be the first zone that I'm cutting, so I need to direct it more backwards. Working in vertical sectioning, I'm going to take and start my concave layers up nice and short, keeping in mind where they're going to fall, and really making sure that I'm blending out to that longer length. Keeping in mind that we need to swing out the hand that is holding the hair to make sure we're creating that nice concave layer. Being sure you have your guide and swooping out. You can really start to see that taking shape. And I'm standing off to the side here so that you can see. And we're getting close to that red zone again. keeping in mind that as soon as we get to that red zone, we're going to be directing it back. Now that we've moved through the back of the head, we're going to drop down our sides in black zone and move towards the side. Combing that hair nice and straight so it lays where it wants to live. Now it's time to work in progressive layers. And because I'm right-handed, I'm going to start on this side of the head, making sure my client is sitting straight. And I'm using that front piece by the front hairline as my guide on how short I want that progressive layer to be on top. Lifting that up and shattering that out. Keeping a little bit of that guide as you move backward. And we're going to continue to use these vertical sections as we move backward and around the head. Working in progressive layers. You'll start to see that perimeter fall out below. Finally, it's time to drop that green zone down. Keeping with the compression cutting that we've been doing, we're going to take the green zone and direct it forward, making sure our hair is well saturated. This is going to create nice short pieces in front and longer layers in the back. Now, because my guest had some shorter layers before she came in today, I'm actually going to go pretty short with this compression cut. But you can bring it all the way down to the nose or the lip line, depending on your desired length and where you'd like it to accentuate. Grabbing my surface razor, I'm going to take and compression cut Now I'm going to let that hair fall where it wants to live so we can see all the layers and dimension. Now to blend our green zone to our red zone and our blue in the back, we're going to use our RZ Fine blending shears. So we're going to work in vertical sections around the head, and you'll be able to see that top layer and the bottom perimeter, and you're going to take your RZ blenders, your RZ Fine blenders, and just softly blend out that line. Moving throughout the head. And if you come to a place that is a little bit more heavy, you can blend it more than once, or blend a little more in that area. And now it's time to style our Urban Gypsy Freedom haircut. The first product I'm going to use is our Bliss Smoothing Cream. This is going to help pull in any flyaways and give you a nice light hold. I'm going to work that through the hair really well, and then make sure I'm combing that product all the way through. And I'm going to begin working with our TK2 round brush to help dry that hair. Giving it a nice soft finish and light, controllable hold. Working with a nice on-base round brushing technique to create maximum lift up and around the black zone and top of the head. I just want to take a moment and point out how beautifully shiny my guest's hair is from using that Bliss Smoothing Cream. No flyaways, and we haven't done any other smoothing with an iron at all. Isn't that shine beautiful? Now it's time to detail our Freedom Urban Gypsy haircut. I'm going to work with our contour shear to do some facial framing to begin. My guest came with a strong horizontal fringe section, but let's say they wanted to do a side swept bang. We are going to start with our shears parallel to the floor and lightly, with a little chatter in the thumb, walk that straight back. This is going to allow for maximum blend into the rest of our haircut. Moving down into our facial framing, I'm going to go in at a horizontal angle, and with my swivel my shears downward, using that same chattering motion, and connect that to my outer perimeter. Creating a nice, strong facial framing. I'm going to come over to the side and do the same thing on this side. Coming in parallel to the floor, and with a nice light chatter, walking my shear down to the outer perimeter. And working with that swivel of the thumb allows me to make that same cut on both sides of the hair, so that both sides want to move the same exact direction. When it comes to styling the Urban Gypsy Freedom haircut, one of my favorite products to use is the Surface Taffy Spray Wax. This is our taffy wax in a spray can. Go ahead and mist it onto the hair, and you can tell that it actually turns the hair a whitish color. And then using our body heat, we're actually going to melt that into our hands. And you'll notice as it starts to melt, it begins to build tons of volume in that hair. Making sure we get our body heat to melt that anywhere we sprayed it. And check out that gorgeous volume and shine, the taffy spray wax.